Hello and welcome to my video on Covens. Well, this video might have been two parts, so yeah. Coven. A coven is usually a group of witches of like-minded witches who get together, do ceremonies together, rituals together, holidays together, all that. Sometimes I've seen called a loose coven, which is a bunch of solitaries who come together for big things, but they don't always practice together. And then there's covens who just are formed. I realize I am over-gesturing, sorry. My coven, which is an odd thing, it goes through its ups and downs, called the Trinity of Magic. Was created July 13th, 2011. It was my friend's birthday, and we had just started talking to my cousin again, and Eric, my friend whose birthday it was, had always been interested in the stuff I did, and at the time I was Wiccan and all that myself. And then there was my cousin, who originally when I started doing it, freaked out, because he has no clue what it is, and still doesn't. I've tried teaching him, does not work. Anyway, we started right then and there, as I had already written a spell to create a coven at the time, and Eric originally saw it and thought about it, and yeah. Anywho, I have a video on my channel here that has the story of my coven, as well as if you go to trinityofmagic.webs.com, you will find it in the same video again. It's also in two parts. At the time, I was not able to upload a video that long. Superman. Anywho, my covens are supposed to work together in perfect harmony, and you're supposed to have respect for one another. Well, I only learned from books. I did not know other people, so I didn't know entirely all what I was doing. My cousin annoys the living crap out of me, and my friend Eric, and I was teaching them what I knew. They knew I did not know everything. Then again, my cousin didn't think I was doing anything right, and let's just say our coven it's still around kinda, but yeah. But there's other covens out there who ended up much better than ours did. Trust me. Not every coven ends up like ours. But a coven is usually, you could say it's a good thing, some people say it's a bad thing. I personally would love to have a coven again, or at least a teacher or somebody to actually physically talk to. That's, I think, one of the main reasons I agreed to teach those two, as I want somebody else to talk to. Well, when you teach everybody what you know, and all you're talking about is what you do know. There's no new information really being brought into that, is there? Anywho, I said that too much. A coven, you can find them anywhere. Sometimes they're hard to find. A site I found, which is the one way to find them, is called Witchvox, witchvox.com. And you can go search by state or town, and then they're usually also listed there. I might list the Trinity of Magic on there. I am not 100% on that one yet. There is one on there called Essence, which is not around anymore. We met with Essence. They were not a coven. They were fluff bunnies. They thought everybody else was wrong except for what they learned, which was from some online YouTube videos I had located, which was just some guy really pissed off at the world who taught people how to do magic from video games, is what they were trying to do in Wiccan terms, which when I found those, I confronted her about it, and she got really mad at me, and yeah. Plus, they were a bunch of girls, and they hated men with a bloody passion for some reason. So they ended up not liking us. Not saying girls are bad, it's just they were not, yeah, they weren't some nice people. Anywho, but yeah, I wouldn't enjoy joining that one. But anywho, there's a list of things to usually know when you start a coven. Mine was just 3 people, so we really didn't need a high priest or priestess, but usually a high priest or priestess is one that you would need. In our coven, we chose elements for us each to represent. Not every coven has that, I realized. That's just the way ours was, thinking ours was small enough. We were looking for a 4th person to join us, but due to my cousin's idiocracies, as I'm going to put it, our 4th... we had a vision that altogether that our 4th person would join when we were all in peace and together. Cousin was always angry and always causing problems, so looking back on, I should have never taught him anything, especially now because we've learned a lot of mental problems he has. But yeah, I've tried dealing with him, but that's another story. Anywho. Also in this book, The Awakening, which I love this book. There's a lot. Just recently, the other day, I was looking through it. I was reading through a part that I hadn't read through yet. And I learned how to read my runes in a different way, which I had never known before. Then again, runes I'm still learning on. Kind of difficult for me. But, this is a good list I like. Number 1, the name of the coven. Well, our coven that I had was named that because we actually had already called ourselves that and several other things, and that's what stuck. The acting high priestess and priest. Well, we didn't need one because ours was too small. If anything, though, I would say I was kind of the high priestess in manner of speaking, because the high priest is usually the one to maintain the tools, watch the tools, keeps the Coven Book of Shadows, casts the circle in a lot of cases. Basically, I ended up doing a lot. My friend Eric, he did his part, but cousin did nothing. Is the coven open or closed to new members? And how many members are going to be in the coven? Our coven was open. Like, that helped. Some covens are closed after so many people. 13 is usually a number I've actually commonly found a lot as the max number of people in the coven. But some can just go as many and just go up and up and up and up. So yeah. Who will keep the Coven Book of Shadows / Grimoire? Usually I think that's the High Priestess's job, but somebody else can be chosen for that. Which Wiccan holidays or Sabbats will be celebrated as a Coven? Well, we celebrated them all on Samhain of 2011 is when I put together what I would call a little graduation for my cousin and Eric at the time, because they were learning everything I was teaching them, and they had never cast a circle or done a spell on their own. Well, my test for them was to cast a circle and do a spell on their own. And at the end, I did, as you saw, a little... It looked like a knighting, kinda. There was a spot in the park we were at, which naturally had a pentacle on it. We set up incense, candles, what have you there, and looked like I was knighting them with wands, but it was actually pretty cool. You could feel the presence of everyone we invoked to come to the thing. So, it shows another thing. Covens together can be more powerful magic than someone on their own, and you can really feel it. What are the laws of the Coven? We didn't set laws at the Coven at the time, but then again, we didn't have a list of what to do and what not to do. I didn't know much on Covens at the time. Now I know more, and now I look at it, I would have done a lot of things differently. Are any guests allowed to attend? If so, what are the rules they may abide by, and can they attend more than one meeting? We never had any guests. I was a guest at one meeting of the Essence at the time, when they were still my friends. She made it clear I was a guest, and made it clear that I was not to speak or do anything, which was very rude. I mean, your guests should at least be able to maybe say some things, and one rule is to make them feel like at home in the circle. I think, if I remember right, it was in the Book of Law I saw. See, what is the responsibility of each member, and do you have to attend every single meeting? Our members kind of had different responsibilities. Eric was kind of, you could say he was our healer. I was I did divination, tarot, and all that. My cousin, he tried to do meditation and some stuff, but he could not clear his mind to do so. What will the Coven instead be? where would the meeting place be? Ours was at something called Iron Spring in Washington Park. What happens if a member does not act appropriately and needs to be told so? Who will do this? In a lot of cases, I believe that's actually the high priest or high priestess's job. Or in some cases, it depends if someone's closer to that person than you are. What is the cost for each meeting, and who will be delegate who brings what? Most covens are free from what I found, and usually I would say, since all the tools are supposed to be maintained by the high priestess, from what I've read, the high priestess means most everything, but second, like other things like herbs and stuff like that, maybe other people would bring. Should the rules of the coven and the positions of the members be voted on every year, or are they permanent? Ours are permanent because we weren't going to have any new members anytime soon, but everybody's different. What would be the initiation for new members? Well, because we never got any new members, but the only initiation we ever had was as I called them my witchlings for a while, and we did that graduation on Halloween, or Samhain, so that was basically it. What is the Coven's call to order? We didn't have one. But it's basically the opening ritual, what would the Coven's opening ritual be, which I actually see as kind of the same thing. Ours was we cast a circle before the meeting started, and usually had an energy raising. Will people use their Wiccan names when assembling? We tried to, but at the time, our Wiccan names weren't really fitting us yet. My cousin chose Arashi, which just because he chose it from the video game. At the time, mine was Alkotsu, a name I use for a lot of things. Now it's Ark, as you've seen, because I like to call myself the Ark of Knowledge. And Eric's went from Akira to Twilight. What will be the ceremonies used for births, hand fasting, hand partings, Passovers, Wiccan high priesthoods, crowning, and so on and so forth? We didn't have any of those because we didn't have anyone doing it. Hand fasting is like a wedding. Hand parting is a divorce. Passover, I'm not entirely sure what it is yet. Wiccaning, I've seen that as I've seen that as two things, as the initiation of new members, and I've also seen that for when new babies are born. So I'm a mixture of what that entirely fully is. Would there be a designated person for healing, reading, spiritual guidance? Usually there is from some things I found, and in our case there was. What will the attire be for the coven? Usually casual in our coven as it was. We had special things we wore during ceremonies we've done, I made, and yeah. What if a member does not contribute as much as he or she should, needs to, and who will be the spokesperson for this? Usually that would be the high priestess, I imagine, and if they do not, usually you just tell them what they are doing. Will there be an energy raising to start each meeting, and who will conduct this? Ours did, and that was usually my job. And as we saw an energy raising at the time, actually, before I fully understood some of the things, it was basically we got together, thought good thoughts, good things, and yeah, raised the spirits. Sadly, in our case, that went down really fast. What is the exact call of order for the Sabbats? Basically what we'll be doing for the holidays, I would say. Each of ours was different, honestly. Usually we just get together, have a circle, and talk about the holiday and that. At the time, I didn't have the correct information, really, to know what each one is and was. I mean, I was putting Yule on Christmas at the time, because I didn't know, so... But everyone has their own different celebrations. What is the length of time for each meeting? Ours was usually from whenever we met, which was usually about noon to sometime in 2 in the morning. We talked a lot, or fought, it just depends. Who will write or research the spells for the Coven? That was my job. Because all my cousin wanted to do was write everything in supposed draconic runes from Dungeons & Dragons, so... if there are excess funds in the Coven, will they go, and where will they go, and who will oversee them? See, that wasn't a problem for us because there was no money involved, but some covens there might be, so honestly I don't have any advice on that one. Who will be the communication source, and will this job rotate? I don't know what it means to be the communication source, honestly. I honestly don't, so I can't help on that one either. Who will record the spiral passage and make sure that everyone has a list of the laws? Not sure what the spiral passage is, honestly, yet. And the list of laws, that we didn't have laws, but otherwise that probably would have been my job, since I obtained kind of, mainly because I was a teacher, I think is why I became the High Priestess in the manner of speaking. Will solitaries be allowed to join the Coven? I would say that would be a good thing to add yes, as guests. We didn't have any, and I would have loved to have some, but... Who will prepare the altar and materials for each meeting? That was my job. And usually I believe that would be the High Priestess, but they can usually have other people do it. Will the Coven invest in Coven tools? I would say yes, if you're going to have funds in that, but ours was more of a small get-together of teens at the time, so that didn't, yeah. What are the reasons for immediate dismissal from the Coven? There's many different reasons. It's everybody's own laws set that. At the time, if I had laws, my cousin would have broken every single one of them. And after this, there's actually what they call the Darkening, which is a way to banish somebody from the Coven and actually bind their magic as well, from what I've read. It's pretty wicked, as I'm going to say. But to put more into it, what do I say? I put this. Sorry, the thing cut off for some reason. Oh. I don't have much more on Covens at the moment, so, but thanks for watching this. I will get more on Covens later. I'm still trying to learn more as I can, but thank you, and blessed be.